Hey there, Cece Summerfield here. Happy Friday to everybody. I'm here with Andy Wilt of People's Mortgage, and today I have him on my show to talk about the renovation loan program that him and his team are doing right now. Andy, what can you tell us about the renovation loan program?
Well, renovation loans are a great way to identify a property that maybe is run down, but it's in the neighborhood that you want to live in. So oftentimes when you see a dilapidated home or a home that's not even eligible for financing because maybe it has a hole in the roof or some other major repair item that keeps it from being eligible for financing under conventional programs, you can use a renovation loan. There's a VA version, there's an FHA version, and a conventional option. There's even an option for investors where you can go in, negotiate the purchase price, and then negotiate the repairs that you want. You get a contractor involved, and you list the items that you want to include in the financing, and then when the loan goes through the process, the initial draw pays the seller, so that's the purchase aspect of it. So you acquire the property, and then there's an allotment that goes into a holding fund to do the repairs. And once all the repairs are done, the inspections are done, then the process is over, and you get the house that you want with the fit and finishes in the neighborhood
That you're looking for. So maybe your dream home in your dream location, rather than trying to fit the square peg into the round hole with a house that's just not quite right for you, and maybe not your dream location.
That's
so
correct.
What, first of all, are there any limitations on what kind of repairs can be included? Or you said a hole in the roof. I was like,
That's great.
Really? You could do a hole in the roof?
You can actually do, it depending on the price point, so there are some limitations on the amount of the loan. So we are limited to $690,000, which includes all the repairs. So the acquisition and repairs, you can't exceed $690,000, but if you fit within that model, you can literally get a home that is zoned for a 4-unit dwelling, and you can get the permits and go through the whole process and scrape it and build from ground up a 4-unit if it fits within the parameters. And of course, now I'm going to get complicated, but the loan amounts go up as the units increase. So you can go up to $1 million and change, $1.3 million for a 4-unit.
Good to know.
Yes, so sorry, not to get too technical. A single family home, you're limited to the $690,000, but if you do a 2-unit, 3-unit, 4-unit, the loan amounts increase as you go higher.
Interesting.
But
okay.
there are some, they're called streamlined programs. Again, I don't want to get too detailed. If you have questions, call me, we can go through it. But $35,000 is kind of a good streamline where you can go in and do new paint, appliances, maybe renovate a bathroom or a kitchen. But if you want to do a full remodel, you can gut a house, you can add square footage, you can restructure the floor plan, you can do major renovations. But it's just a matter of time and effort. You still have to pay for the mortgage, you still have to have a place to live. So if you're looking for a 9-month renovation, it's just going to get complicated. But can you do it? Yes, you can.
That was the other thing I was going to ask is, do you have to start paying the mortgage immediately when the escrow closes when you're doing the renovations?
It depends on how you want to structure it, and again, how much you're trying to do it. There is a construction reserve fund, so you can build in some of the payments on it to minimize the out-of-pocket expenses during the renovation.
Got it. Okay, because we all know we're probably going to have somewhere else to live while those renovations going on. Andy, thanks so much for talking a little bit. It sounds like it's just scratching the surface, so if you do need more information or you want to, everybody's loan is different and everybody's situation is different. So Andy's the guy to go to if you have any questions about loans. He does conventional VA, the renovation, FHA, anything.
Down payment assistance is a real hot topic.
Really anything at this point. So, he's the guy to ask, and he's always happy to answer questions, I found at least. So, I'm sure you're like that with everybody, right?
Right.
So, Andy, one other thing I wanted to bring up, because I thought this was really exciting news, is something that the Fed is doing. Now, the Federal Reserve is what determines our interest rates, correct? Pretty much.
In a very general way of speaking, when you hear oftentimes that the Fed is raising or lowering interest rates, they're manipulating the monetary policy. That's really what they're trying to do, to drive the economy.
Right.
So I think you're referring to what we were talking about last week about rates changing. So the Federal Reserve last year was very active in raising interest rates, right? right? So we heard about prime rate was up to 5.5%. They were trying to slow the economy. The GDP hit 3%, and they were thinking, oh, there's lots of inflation. A lot of people disagreed what the Fed was doing, but nevertheless, they were raising rates at a pretty steady pace. Now they've come out and completely reversed their policy. They've said, well, hold on, not only are we not going to raise rates anymore in 2019, but we're actually going to stimulate the economy by, I don't want to get overcomplicated, but they were doing in quantitative easing. Remember back in 2011 and they were forcing interest rates down.
Yeah.
They're going to start to tinker with the way that they're releasing some of the bonds and repurchasing the treasuries. So that will have the effect of keeping interest rates low and potentially going lower into the summer and fall. They haven't released all of the data that's going to come later this year, end of May, and then in September they're going to talk about more of those developments. But we may be in a scenario where we could, achieve low 4s and high 3s again, which would be great for
any buyers that are out there right now. I know that your payments were being pushed up because of the higher interest rates, but I mean, if you're on the fence, I mean, right now is the time to take action. To be honest, it's rates are back down, and if you've been thinking about it, but you're like, man, it's just a little too much. Here's an opportunity. At least do yourself a favor, come talk to Andy and discuss, how much that's going to affect the payment. And also, debt to income ratio and all that kind of stuff. There's all sorts of things that go into it. Yeah. He's the numbers guy, and he can talk days about this, so it's great. But definitely knowledgeable about everything when it comes to loans and interest rates. Yeah. So thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate all the information, and that's such exciting news with the interest rates back down again. Yeah. Hoping for a good buying summer and hopefully
rates are down 0.5% from where we were in December.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next Friday.